In today's video, we are going to talk about things that the side chicks secretly do to people's husbands and they end up in extramarital affairs with them. This is a video you would want to watch. Give it a like, share it with a friend, and you are welcome to my YouTube channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, consider subscribing, turn on the notification bell, and let's get right into the video. Nothing can justify, cheating. Sometimes we do research about infidelity and we even don't end up with a correct answer why someone should go into an extramarital affair. But a few things that I'm going to talk about in this video can be able to open your eyes as a wife or as someone who wants to be a wife, to be able to know why most men or why some men go in for side chicks. As number one, they give quality time to them. Now, when we get into marriage, a lot of things change. So you find that the time we used to have for our partners during dating is, so divided into things. You find you have to run your career here and there. You have to hustle, get money. You have to take care of children. Maybe you even give birth after every year and you have very many children very young. You have a lot on mind. You are maybe going back to pursue, your degree. You're still in school. You have no good time for your husband. And so what these babes do, they avail themselves for them. He wants to do this, she's available. He wants to talk to anyone, she's available. He wants to eat this, she's available. In the long run, they end up being caught up, because they lack that quality time. Now, in marriage, we give time to our partners, but sometimes it's not quality. You find that even when some people have come home from work, they come with computers, you have unfinished work that you want to do at night, you want to submit it like very fast. You don't have time even to speak with your wife or your husband. And eventually, you find that the partner or your husband is feeling lonely and they end up being in sexual immorality. When you look into the Bible, there is a story of a certain woman. This woman was a harlot, a prostitute, a woman that would tap other people's husbands. And so she said she would look up and down and she would look at those men that are void of understanding. And she, use her subtlety to draw them to herself. So when you don't give quality time to your partner, it's one temptation that can lead them into an extramarital affair. So these babes give them really quality time. Two, these chicks keep things really interesting and enticing. Now, their work is to, snatch, or I would say to take people's husbands. They want to draw their attention to themselves. Some of them know that this man is married. Some of them do not know. But what they know, I want this man for myself. Maybe for their selfish interests. Some of them want money, some of them want sex, some of them want, buildings, a lot of things. A man who is in an extramarital affair can give anything. We've seen people who have given out cars because, just one night stand. So these ladies keep things interesting. Now, when you look in the book of Proverbs chapter 7, there is a story of that woman that I mentioned. She is a prostitute, but we could say she's a side chick because she would tap young and old men, those that are married, and she was also married. And so she says in verse 16 that I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works of fine linen. I have perfumed my bed. Come, let us take our fill of love until morning. So when you continue reading this book, you see that eventually the men are drawn to her themselves. She does not force them, but because she keeps seducing them, interesting them, telling them things, nice, I have perfumed my bed, I have done this and that, they end up into an affair with her. So those chicks do not really do a lot of things, but they just do things that we do, but they do them in a better way. So as a wife, what do you learn from her? Keep things interesting in your marriage. Number three, they give quality sex to these men. Now, when we talk about sex, yes, you could be having sex with your husband because, yeah, that is your responsibility as a wife. But there is a word quality. Quality means enough and enjoyable. Now, these ladies are always there doing all their best to satisfy these guys. And that's why men, when they're talking about how they're cheating, they usually do compare the wives with the chicks. And they be like, no, my wife is for home, we have to keep going. But for sexual satisfaction, I have to look around because she cannot manage. Maybe she has many children, she's tired. Every night I touch her, she's very tired. Now, these babes, they are not there to give birth sometimes. They are not doing anything. They are there, to give sex to men. Maybe men, they give them what they want, like money, like cars, like houses, rent, but their work is to give sex. So they give it in excess. And they give it in, a modernized way. You find that they do a lot of sex positions, which many wives do not do. They think because now we are married, that is enough. We are not supposed to do anything more. This is all we know. You don't keep things new in your marriage. And so when these men go out, just for once, they be like, my wife cannot manage 3 rounds, cannot manage this, and they end up being in that affair. Now, I'm not justifying cheating at all because nothing I can justify about cheating. Infidelity is a sin before the Lord. But the research that we do shows that those chicks offer quality sex to people's husbands, and that's why they end up cashing them. When you see this story, you're going to see that with all that, she was able to lure these men into her house. If you were there, maybe you've been married and your sex life is boring and everything, try to spice it up because someone out there is willing, to give. We have seen even men of God, pastors, get into such temptations because they are not getting what they should get in their family. Sex is godly in marriage because God says we should not defraud one another in marriage. When you read 1 Corinthians chapter 7, therefore it is godly, and that's why God says if you can't handle your body, please marry. So when these men marry, sometimes they have sexual dissatisfaction, and these babes are there to give them quality sex. Number four, these women are romantic and they care about themselves. Sometimes in marriage we tend to become cold. The things we used to do during dating, we do them normal because a lot is happening in our minds, in our family, and you find that you miss the days you would chat with each other passionately, talk about things, funny things. So these babes, they are always available to talk anything with these guys. People have a lot on mind that they are going through, that they need someone to speak to. So these guys, these ladies, these babes keep themselves looking nice, dressed nicely, make nice hair, perfume their bodies, their houses, and they keep being romantic. When you see in verse 18 of Proverbs 7, it says, come, let us take our fill of love until morning. Let us solace ourselves with love. Now, she's talking a lot of enticing words to this man, and eventually he had no control than to be in the hands of that prostitute. So sometimes because of that romance, they find at work, hi, you look good, they compliment men, they put a lot of effort, which the women do not want to do. Maybe your husband lives home, but you never tell him how smart he is. He does not, look handsome in your sight. So when he goes to work, he meets this hot babe and he's like, you look nice. I like that shirt. You look smart. And, those words keep enticing them to these girls. So they keep romantic and interesting. Lastly, these ladies usually invest in men. Now, investing in men, sometimes some of them do not want to sound like they love money. Yet they love money and they use that money from the guys to invest in them. You find that I was talking to one woman I met somewhere who happened to be a side chick. And she was telling me plainly that for her, she enjoys being a side chick because she gets a lot. And so she was in a supermarket, we're moving, talking, and she was picking fruits, picking, grapes, picking this and that. And I asked her, so where are you taking these things? She says, I'm taking for the guy that I told you about. Then I was like, why? She says, no, this guy loves fruits. Every time I take fruits, he will give me like 200,000. So I was like, now this woman took time to study the guy and know what the guy loves. And that is what exactly she buys. Maybe she could have even spent like 20,000, 40,000. But eventually the man would be like, hey, thank you. Come. He tells the cashier because they usually go to their offices where these men work and they supply them with food, with porridge, with juice. I've made for you a cocktail. I've made for you this. And the man has come from home when they are hungry. And so they get into that trap. So they invest in men, which most women do not do. And not necessarily because we do not have money, but because we do not think and we are. So I'm not justifying cheating and infidelity. I will say it again. But when you look around, some of these things are correct. And maybe if you have anything else that you would want to add on to this video, you can go ahead and share it in the comment section. I did a video about how to eliminate side chicks from your husband. Yeah, you're going to watch it. I'll put a link in the comment section and I'll pin it that you go and watch it and see how to, bring back the heart of your husband to yourself. Thank you so much for watching this video. I believe you learned something. If that is so, share it, like it, and leave a comment for us. Thank you so much. Bye.